And we are back, folks, with another edition of Steady Dropping Dimes. Hey, y'all didn't hear this yesterday. Devin and Daniel didn't, but we were doing the breakdown with the film study with Al Borch. It hasn't been released yet, so of course I haven't seen it. Devin, stop it. Don't talk about the videos being released. They're coming. They're coming, man. All right. So you got Al. He's doing this breakdown, and the pass where he hit Golston, he was coming across the middle, and he kind of fit it in there, and the ball, there's no way he could drop it. And he said, Sam, JJ is steady dropping dimes. If Al Borges knows,
No, he did not.
yes, he did.
I think we got to change the name. If Al using it, it might not be as hot as we thought.
He said, Al. He said, Sam, JJ steady dropping dimes. I said, man, that tells you we'll get some traction. If Al Borges knows what dropping dimes means, that's what it is, folks. Real guys talking real sports, giving you real opinions. Give you real opinions, not fabricated. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to even talk about the uncomfortable things, like Devin made me do last week. Talk about my man Dez like that, right? I didn't want to do it.
But you can't be biased. You got to make sure you talk about all the things. And that man and that panics. That was hey,
it was bad. So here's the deal, folks. Steady Dropping Dimes brought to you by our friends at Destination Ann Arbor, who I had the great pleasure of sitting down with the president of Destination Ann Arbor last week, Sarah Miller. You'll be seeing that I Love Ann Arbor segment. That I Love Ann Arbor segment won't be this week. It'll actually be next week, because I want to get Devin and Daniel talking about some places they love about Ann Arbor. So we're going to feature them today and a spot they love here in AA. So we'll get to that in the I Love Ann Arbor segment. We call Destination Ann Arbor your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor, the places to go, the places to eat, the events coming to town, all kinds of exciting developments on the horizon right here in the great city of Ann Arbor and Washington County. That's the other thing. I got to keep getting people rid of that misconception that Destination Ann Arbor is just about.
Hey, they was on you when you said you was riding them trails in
right?
Ann Arbor.
Yeah, they were.
Sam lying. That ain't even in Ann Arbor.
Right? No, Washington County. And this is a great time to get out on those trails, by the way. In the parks.
It's like 70 degrees today. My goodness.
The leaves are turning. It's beautiful in the state of Michigan. You don't have to go anywhere. You could be right here. So we'll get to that anyway. Their spot, one of the places Devin and Daniel love in Ann Arbor, coming up in the I Love Ann Arbor segment. But right now, we got to talk about the topic at hand. The big topic. Is it a bigger topic than it should be? That's one of the things we're going to discuss. And that is sign gate, as we've been calling it. Stealing signs goes back as long as football, right? It definitely is a part of, everybody has a guy. Every team has a guy. Michigan clearly had a guy. Ohio State, I hear, has two guys. We'll get into that, right? But it's the allegation, the accusation is that Michigan's guy was doing some extracurriculars, that he was doing some advanced scouting to help his efforts, right? And then there's a Sports Illustrated piece that elaborates on him as a guy. I guess he was text messaging. There's some real look at me type stuff in these text messages that he was sending. But let me get your impressions, because Devin, I told you on the Monday Morning Quarterback, I know, you know me, I know almost everybody in Michigan football. Almost. I won't say I know everybody, but I know almost everybody. I couldn't pick this dude out of lineup. I hadn't heard of him before a couple weeks ago, but you had heard of him. And so for the folks who didn't see that episode, kind of bring them up to speed here on Dropping Dimes.
Well, so I've known him since my days at Michigan, and not like we like homeboys and not like that, but it's just like, hey, Will, what's up, man? Like, you know what I mean? And then eventually learn his name, like, oh, what's up, Connor? Right? He just around, and so he was a guy. I remember, it's so funny that this is all happening like this in the article, the text message, and all this, because he was a guy. And so, like, say we're going on a road trip to a game the first time. This is the first time we're going on a road trip. We go to the game. And at the hotel is this guy, right? And it's just like, oh, yeah, what up? Like, oh, fans here waiting on us. All right, bet. Next time, It's this guy, same guy. He got in my opinion, it's a memorable face. Just I've seen it so much, right? So for you couldn't pick him out of the lineup, but I've seen him so much. The next time, same guy. Oh, what up, man?
Every road trip y'all went on, you
The
walked
next time, I'm like, so I don't know how he doing this. It's kind of, it's on one hand, it's like kind of weird, and then on the other hand, it's like it's kind of impressive too. Like, okay, you coming to the games, nice. This is you really support us. I don't even know if you going to the games. You might just be trying to see us and whatever. And so you can kind of see like he's a super fan, and he got real connected with like Frank Clark and all these things. So now and then you learn his name, like, oh yeah, Connor Stalions. That ain't a name you forget, right? Once you hear that once, Connor Stalions, like, come on, man. Like, so I'm seeing this guy, and you know, and he a cool dude. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, from a distance, it doesn't seem like he, you know, except for the fact that he's going all the away games. Like, hey, he's just a super fan. You know, a lot of fans do that. And so then I graduate, I leave, and then I start seeing like around the program a lot more, like on TV copies and different stuff like that. And I'm like, man, do he work there now? Like, I mean, I don't have no real interest in asking. I don't care. But it's like, dang, I remember him. He used to always be at the games, at the away games. And then now, come to find out, he on salary now. I just learned that through all this stuff that he on salary. Like, he ain't a volunteer. He getting paid to do whatever he's paid to do. But I think that he was an attractive candidate because he was doing so much. He was so committed without pay. And I think Harbaugh takes a liking to people like that, people that are go-getters, people that really do go above and beyond to do a job. You know what I mean? And when you're going above and beyond to do a job that you're not getting paid for, that's super attractive. That'd be attractive to any head coach, right? Because you want guys like that on your staff. And so I think that maybe was super attractive. Like, this dude is committed, and he ain't even got no dog in the fight except for that he's a Michigan fan. And so and then I guess he proved valuable and value. He showed he had value in some way. But yeah, as far as my knowledge, he was just a fan that was always at the games. Cool dude, you know, say what up, you know. But even the bowl game, like, he was always there. And now we're here. Now we are here in this kind of arena of public opinion versus what actually happened versus how important is it to steal signs? 11 guys on the field, you know, like, it's a lot to go in. I'm sure we're about to talk about that. And Daniel got a good perspective in another sport. But as far as the guy, I'd seen him for years.
Yeah, man. He just heard his name and found out, okay, he had been volunteering for years.
Yeah, that's what I found out.
Not just a year, for years before he was hired. And so
Sam, you got a dude that's volunteering for years and helping you or whatever. Wouldn't you hire him? Like, hey, you've been doing this for free for a long time. I might as well hire you. I mean, at this point, you know what I mean?
Hey, on the basketball side, that's how a lot of guys get into the business. They
doing the tapes and all that.
Work a million basketball camps for free and train guys, and next thing you know, he's on the staff somewhere. So that stuff happens all the time.
Yeah, so listen, we'll get into how impactful advanced scouting is, and I definitely want you guys' take on that. But dealing specifically with him, and so the story in Sports Illustrated is noteworthy in that it's very revealing about him as a guy. Because let me tell you, as I read it, like, some of the things that he was saying in the text messages are patently false. Like, blatantly false. Like, things he said he did and dudes he said, like, totally false. Like,
so what it looked like to me was he was just bragging, and just like a fan would do. If a fan, he texting with Frank Clark, he ain't never texting me, but he was texting with Frank Clark. I know that for a fact. Like, Frank Clark was going out of town whenever after he was with Frank out of town, like, having a good time. I remember one time Frank FaceTimed me at his crib. He's like, hey, yeah, you remember Connor? And I'm like, he had Frank away game right now. He everywhere, right? And so he want that. We in the arena of clout.
Yes,
right?
we are.
We in the arena of clout. So if you get a chance to be around Michigan football, not to mention you're a fan of Michigan football, even if you're not a fan of Michigan football, if you get a chance to be around it, You're going to try to get as much information, connect to as many people as you can, and you going to tell people and you going to embellish a little bit. Yeah. Like, yeah, man, I basically called that play. You remember that one play when the dude had, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I basically called that play. And so indirectly, I'm basically the office coordinator. What are you talking about, bro? You know what I mean? But that's and you got to think about it. He is connected in some way at the time. And so you see him in Frank's videos and all that, the clout he's trying to obtain, you got to believe it if you don't know no better. He might be calling the plays. He the secret.
Oh, man, the dude said in the text he had a plan to take over Michigan football. I'm like, man, this dude sounds like it's more than clout chasing. I mean,
what more clout can you get to being the head coach at Michigan? Take over Michigan football. That's the most clout you can get. That's the largest alumni days, all that. Yeah.
It's delusional, is what it is. But here's how it closes the loop and closes the circle for me. You got to do every program. Let me get back to the initial premise of the discussion. You have got to understand that all these programs have guys, right? Yeah. There's a reason why Michigan, every team, you getting ready for Ohio State. Ohio State said they do something special. They changed things up for last year's Michigan game and got destroyed after they changed things up. But I digress. Michigan, you think Michigan didn't feel like they needed to change? They had to change things up after Don Brown, man. You think
the way Ohio State was looking, they gotta have a defensive second.
Come on, man. Come on. Now it was probably easier in that particular instance because Don Brown didn't
play a lot of man.
He didn't change. He didn't have a variety of defense, right? So it's easier to impact things when you know the book on him, and they had the means. They had the book on him, right? So there are times, there are instances where it can be really impactful, and you had better do your due diligence to get people off. And so the good programs do that, right? They change things up against the best teams just to make sure that none of that stuff is impacting the game. And we know it didn't impact the game against Ohio State last year because they said it didn't. Getting back to Connor Stalions. You got a guy who is decoding these signs. And he had been doing it from the TV copy. Of all the things that you check for, and this is kind of where, because if there's any truth to any of these accusations, the insistence that I'm getting from SIA, man, if he did it on his own. He did his own thing. Now, are people going to believe that? They might be more willing to believe it now based on reading that story because he was definitely going above and beyond.
Not to mention, he was going to all the away games back when I was playing.
Yeah, he was doing it for a minute. But,
I'll tell you one now, Sam.
Yeah, of all the things that you look for when you're running a program. So I'm looking at, are dudes getting paid? Are they cheating? Or is there any kind of cheating, in terms of, extracurriculars going on, in terms of pay for play, all that kind of stuff. I'm looking for that kind of stuff. Am I looking for how he's scouting? Right. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be held accountable because you got to be, at the end of the day, the buck stops at you. If he did it, Michigan's going to get punished. But I understand why it would be the case that you didn't know that if he actually did what they say he did, I can see how you wouldn't know that. I can see how you wouldn't be checking for that. Like who's checking on the guy?
I think,
especially when you can see everything on Exos. Why would you think a guy who was saying, "I would look at what I'm getting from the TV copy"? Now I can look at Exos and see every game, right? Every game they played going back to 2020. Why would I think this dude is actually sending people to the game?
So I think Harbaugh specifically, just because of his personality, who he's been through the years, he is not aware. He can't be. He just don't be aware of stuff. And that might be a little bit of a slight, but it's gonna help him here. I can vouch for it. He do not know what's going on as far as like something that minuscule, right? He is a football guy. The stuff that has to do with the game plan of football and whatever, I just don't think. And for the most part, he's been a stand-up guy. He ain't been no dude that is known for cheating or known for trying to get around the rules or none of that. he is a rule follower, in my opinion. I think he is a stickler for rule following. And the kids on the team and all that and the staff, everybody knows that, right? So I can understand, like you said, especially for him, how this could go over his head. Because, a lot of people say whatever they want about Harbaugh, but the one thing you know for a fact is he's a ball guy. You know he's a ball guy. You know that people think he be playing dumb in the press conferences. I think that he really don't be knowing sometimes, right? Like, he don't know the hip lingo. He don't know all that stuff. Like, he learns some of it from the players, but I just think he a little unaware on some stuff. I think this could be one of those things. At least that's what he said, right? You got to take him at his word.
Let me ask you something. For football, like developing the game plan for football through the week, right? So as an assistant in basketball, when I'm in charge of making the scouting report, the head coach doesn't really get involved in that.
He don't.
He lets you know, hey, you in charge of the scouting report, go do this, and you come back with what you have. So is that kind of the case in football as well, where maybe these guys are coordinated with him and using his information to create game plans? Like, what is for me as from the outside looking in, it seems like it's a lot of nothing, to be honest. So
it's different for different teams. Like a Gus Malzahn, I've talked with him extensively because I've had UCF over and over again this year. So before, I mean, and even now a little more, but before he called all the plays, right? So he is the head coach that's fully involved. Andy Reid, another guy, right? Guys that call the plays from the head coach position, you have to be way more involved, right, than the team managers, like a Harbaugh. Right? Harbaugh, as much as on TV copies and all that, everybody, all announcers say, "Oh, that's a great call by Harbaugh." Harbaugh ain't calling no plays. Harbaugh has the complete autonomy to say, "No, we're not running that," or, "Hey, man, you need to run the ball." But he's not calling the plays. You know what I mean? And so he got a lot to do. He got to make sure, hey, y'all done with the game plan? All right, let me see. All right, yeah, I like that. I like that on offense. All right, defense, you done with the game plan? All right, let me see. All right, I like that. But I don't think that he's configuring the game plan, right? That's why you hire guys. He got a lot of other stuff doing. Gus Malzahn's point, he stopped calling plays because he said it's too much. And it's not even so much about football. It's all the other stuff. You're a general manager now. You got to see how much money you got for this kid, how much money in NIL you can try to find the collectives and see what they can do. Hey, this kid I'm trying to recruit this kid. I got to talk to his agent. You know what I mean? Like he said,
he's not worried about the kind of Stalions.
It's too much to do. And so he had to give up play calling duties. And everybody knows when you see a Gus Malzahn team, you expecting to see him call the plays, right? Yeah. And for him to give that up because of so much you have to do outside of just football, like, I mean, that's insane. Like for head coaches. And I think Harbaugh, who doesn't call plays, right? He is in that same boat of like, you got a lot of stuff to worry about. You can't be worrying about minuscule stuff like the beginnings of a game plan and things like that.
Yeah. So he's not checking for kind of Stalions.
I'm gonna be honest, he might not even know kind of like that.
I mean, I'm talking about just even other coaches.
Yeah.
Other coaches, like, why would you look for that to do? Like, he was getting stuff off the TV copy.
Yeah.
Now you bring him
That
in.
was my point. You can get all this stuff off TV copy.
Right. But now he could go beyond the TV copy. Now you get the coach's copy. That's not like they show the sideline every play.
Sometimes, yeah.
But you can now see every game that a team plays. You can sit at your computer all day, and you can look back on for years. Like the database goes back to 2020. So I mean, why would you like, man, is he doing a little something extra, or man, he got more access now. Maybe his tips are like that. His tips are even better, to the point that maybe it gives you a. So now let's talk about how impactful it is. It clearly has some effect. All coaches wouldn't do it. Every coach steals signs to some extent.
Hey, remember we changed the wording. We're not stealing no more because it's on TV. We're taking your signs.
Yeah, every coach or every staff captures signs to some degree, some more than others. He apparently was pretty good at it, to the point where other staffs were taking notice, right? I definitely he was a guy that was suspected by many programs, especially Ohio State. And they, according to one of the reports, they said, yeah, we know they're on us, so we kind of changed things up before the game, as if that helped them look better, which it didn't. But that's what you do. That's what teams do. This is why you can't invest that much into this. Let's say you could actually get the key. Like Dion said, it was a great comment. He said, you could give me the whole game plan. I still got to stop it.
Yeah.
I still got to stop it.
You know, something else Dion said, he said it's a little different in baseball because if I'm a hitter and I know the sign and I know you're throwing a curveball, that's different, right? That's me. I know you're throwing a curveball. Now I can plan to hit it. It's 11 dudes on the field, okay? It's 11 dudes. Not to mention 10 can do the right thing, 1 go the wrong way, and that play is completely ruined. Right? It's just too many moving parts for them to make this such a big deal. Stealing signs, right? That it's goofy, is what I think.
Especially since you said this before we even talked.
Yeah,
I didn't play college football. I played Pee Wee. I played flag. I played middle school.
Was you nice?
Hey, man, I did a little something.
Was you nice?
I did a little something. Hey, man.
Oh, Juke.
At every level, we went to games and captured signs.
We did.
Even at the Pee Wee level, man. I can remember coaches, getting the sign from the sideline that what the other team was doing. So this is so ingrained in the game that especially in the big games, you got to change things up to get ready. That's what teams do. Or you go to a wristband. Or if you're Michigan, you huddle, right? Or you practice. You have special. You might have a special sign for a specific team.
Or you show a sign and you throw one wrinkle. One thing that goes against the signs that you, whatever, like your most basic sign that you use all the time. You throw one wrinkle in there, I guess what? The team that stole your signs will be devastated because now they're like, wait a minute. That's like getting burned on one play. It's like, oh man, we don't want to do that no more, right? We can risk it if we don't get caught. But now we got caught and they ran something else and now it's a touchdown. All right, we done with that. Let's just play the game straight up. You know what I mean? So it's very simple to get people out of it. But when you're getting your butt kicked a little bit and you ain't used to it, it's tough.
And so that's not me excuse. Look, if the dude did what they said he did, it's a violation. It's a violation. Make the punishment though fit the crime. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, but they're gonna try to kill him. They're gonna, and it's not really. Remember, I talked about it on Monday Morning Quarterback. You got Michigan, who people just notoriously hate. They love when they're down. They love when something bad happens, right? It's just what it is because of the fan base and the people who graduated from Michigan. They say we're arrogant and pompous and all this, whatever. So people generally don't like Michigan around the country. Then you add in Harbaugh, who rubs people the wrong way. He just does, right? He rubs media the wrong way sometimes. He rubs people in general the wrong way, especially if you don't know him. So, and then he spoke out against the NCAA to begin the season. $1 billion industry. Why aren't the people that are participating getting a piece of the pie? And now you are attacking the bottom line of an entity that is losing its power, and they cannot have it. They're going to try to drop the hammer on them. If they find whatever they need to find, they are going to try and drop the hammer on him, which would eventually be the hammer being dropped on Michigan.
Yeah, so you got two entities, Devin. Daniel. Devin mentioned one of the entities, they being the NCAA, who every time there's a something, the NCAA is some leak from the NCAA, it's on Yahoo. Like, you would think that an entity, an organization that holds up confidentiality in these investigations as a tenant, you would think they would be looking into that. They'd be trying to plug that leak. They are not, at least insofar as it relates to Michigan. But the other entity, in my opinion, is Ohio State. Yeah. And there is a reason why they are really kind of gassing this up to be this grand travesty of football justice, because you got to explain why you getting your ass whooped, and it's got to be something other than I'm inadequate. Yeah, that I'm inadequate with my coaching. I'm inadequate with my game plan.
But they call us arrogant. They call us arrogant and pompous, but you think the only way you can be beat is someone is cheating, right?
I said that same thing.
Like that makes no sense to me.
Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling because all the things that go on in college sports that all of these programs get away with, especially Ohio State and different programs around the country that we know as former athletes, and Sam as somebody that's covered college athletics for so long. we know what goes on behind the scenes. So for someone to come out and be like, "Hey, they're cheating," like say, man, you must be trying something under your own hood if you're calling other people out. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, well, they definitely have some guys now, or at least they're suspected to have.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah, I've already talked about one. I don't know who the guy was that was stealing. It probably was Ryan Day because he worked with Don Brown at Boston College, so he probably was the one at that time stealing the sign. I don't know that, but they definitely have some guys that are suspected right now. I talked about one on the MichiganInsider.com a couple of days ago. I've seen that name start to make the rounds. I've since learned about another guy. So the word is Ohio State got two guys that they use to do it. Now I'm not suggesting that they're sending people to get. I don't know if they are or aren't. But they got two guys who, hey, that's what they do.
TV copy.
Allegedly, supposedly, figuring.
It's one of the things, man. Like I said, like I told you before, as a basketball guy, how much difference does it make anyway, right? Like,
dude, they acting like he got their first 15 plays of every game or something. Like you got their first 15 opening plays. Like, come on, man.
We know each other's plays in basketball all the time. Like when the other team calls a play, whereas a coach and a player, they call a play, hey, we're running blue. Hey, they're running blue. It's a pin down to a flare to a ball screen. Be ready. Like everybody knows. Like when you watch, like you said, you watch film, you watch the all 22. If you do your homework, you know what the other team's going to do anyway. And how many other plays can they really check to? I'm not well versed in checking plays in football, but you still dealing with humans at the end of the day. How many plays can you actually check to from the sideline in 10 seconds? So, it all seems a bit ridiculous, like somebody's crying because they got their teeth kicked in 2 years in a row.
Deion said it best, man. You can mail the team your game plan and everything you want to do. You still got to roll this stuff. He said, listen, you knew 22 was getting it. You knew I was going to be lined up on your best receiver. You knew 88 was going to be down the field. You knew. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And right now, Michigan is looking like it doesn't matter team. We can know, y'all can know, or whatever. You got to line this S up and play. And if you can't stop it, you just can't stop it. It don't matter what you got, unless you know the exact play every single time. Now we got issues. But you knowing it's a pass or a run, you know how many pass plays are in a playbook? Do you know how many run plays are in the playbook? Do you know? I don't know, son. Do you know? I don't know. It's an exuberant amount, right? And then it changed from week to week because you want to steal plays from other teams that worked against the team you about to play and put them in your playbook. So now you had a little bit of a disadvantage. This ain't even really our play. We just thought it would work against y'all because it worked before. You feel me? Like, just stop it. We got to stop it with all of this garbage. Just because I know if it's a pass or if it's a run, which every team knows, right? Because if you study, right, 34 tendencies or whatever, you're playing the percentages. And just because you know the percentage doesn't mean you're going to get it right every time. But guess what? You have to know exactly what to play. Now, if Michigan somehow knew exactly what every play was on offense, defense, especially whatever, they should be punished. They should be punished. But I know that's not true because it just don't work like that.
Listen, even if they did, look, if it didn't impact the game some, all these coaches would do. I'm not sitting here saying that it don't help some. What I'm saying is it don't help like these. I'm telling you, I watch TV.
And Michigan State people talking about 49-0 because we stole their signs.
That's just not. They just not bright. That's
they not very smart. Hey, dude, first of all, they so goofy. Your quarterback was running back and forth to the sideline like Little League. You get his conditioning in because your coach is goofy because he thought y'all had a chance, obviously.
So most of the people who are talking about this, I think they telling themselves like they never, ever, 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 ever play football at any level. At any level. Now, the people who I think are goofy are the football guys who are going overboard with this. Like,
who have you seen doing that?
Either you go. What's the dude Acho when he was on there? It was like, I think this gave Michigan a tremendous advantage. I'm like, man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Goofy. Right, that's what I'm saying. Either that or you got some kind of axe to grind with Michigan. But I've heard, so many football guys say, listen, if they were doing their advanced scouting, that's a rule. But sign stealing and the impact that it has on the game, everyone does it, and it's not like that determines the outcome of games. Right. That just, you stand on your P's and Q's. You keeping your opponent honest. Like, hey, you can't be lazy you got to be changing things up or you're going to get got.
Yeah, if you just gonna put your signs on TV and then leave them the same, that's on you. My opinion.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
isn't it already showing some level of paranoia if you have all of these crazy symbols and signs from the sideline to try to throw people off? So like you're doing it already, you're just not going to the level you need to protect your stuff if it's still getting out there. So it's like it's still on you at the end of the day.
I agree. So hey Ben, I see people are saying Ben, they said Acho is goofy. Is that what this? I didn't know Acho was goofy.
I mean, that's a goofy take for sure. Especially, I know how he is. He's super like intentional with his words and everything. So he probably got real deep and had this big time analogy and all that. And it's just like, oh, come on, Sam, Emmanuel.
So hey, yeah, Emmanuel Acho. I didn't even know the dude's first name.
Yeah. So I had to hit him with Emmanuel. Come on, Emmanuel.
Yeah. So Ben, it looks like people in the stream are asking about Jim Stapleton. All right, that name keeps coming up, and I guess the reason it came up today is John Bacon was on the Columbus radio and kind of talked about Jim Stapleton and his. I haven't heard the interview. What I'm reading is that he mentioned Jim Stapleton's presence on the infractions committee, NCAA infractions committee. Now he's a Michigan alum. He's a former regent at Eastern Michigan. Have seen him around for years. I know he is, he has a lot of friends in Michigan athletics and Michigan football, and has had varying levels of influence over time. I know he was a big Brady Hoke guy. I know he was a big, he was around a lot more during the Lloyd years. A little bit with Michigan basketball. Was he around when you were around, Daniel? Do you remember Jim Stapleton?
I don't know.
Listen. It was reported that he was not in favor. He's a minority stakeholder in the Minnesota Vikings. It was reported at the time that he was one of the people that was not in favor of Jim Harbaugh being hired by the Minnesota Vikings. Mm-hmm. That was something that I heard too. Now I didn't say his name, but that was definitely something that I heard. How that plays into what's going on here and now with Jim Harbaugh and Michigan football, I can't speak. I don't know what his role is with the infractions committee. I don't know how the infractions committee process works. Like if you are affiliated with an institution, can you serve on that infractions committee? Do you have any sort of influence in that particular part of the infractions committee? I don't know how all of that works. What I can say is I've seen some leaps be made, right? That because the perception is that he is not a Harbaugh guy, that somehow, some way he is wielding influence to make life hard or get Harbaugh out. And this is what this is all about with the NCAA chasing him right now, that he is, there's a faction that wants Jim out of Michigan and stuff, and he is kind of the ringleader. People start seeing the flying saucers and the things circling around. What I can tell you is,
so you're saying it's an inside job,
and that's what I guess that's what is coming across in the stream. If there were something to that, now I can't speak to what Jim Stapleton's doing with the infractions. Again, let me stipulate that I don't know if he's doing anything with the infractions committee to influence anything with Michigan. No idea. But in terms of his influence in Ann Arbor and Jim Harbaugh's status as coach or Jim Harbaugh being extended, if he were of the mind that Jim was not the guy and he had some influence to affect that outcome, then it certainly would have come to pass in 2020 when there were a boatload of people who were like, you know what? Time for Jim to go. And Jim kind of spoke to this. He kind of spoke to this when he said, yeah, I want to know what the administration thinks. I want to know what my players think. I want to know what fans think. Because remember, it was a whole lot of fans saying, no more Jim Harbaugh. It's time to do something different. Right. And so there were even members of the Michigan football family who were like, hey, it might be time for a change. Right. So given all of that, if there were people who felt like it's time for a change and they had influence, that would have been the time for it to come to bear. But what I remember is an athletic director not listening to any of that, not listening to whoever, whether it be Jim Stapleton or former players or anybody, regents, anybody who said it's time for a change. Seemed like that got ignored. And he was like, nah, we're going to keep Jim Harbaugh. So I say all of that to say this idea that he is, kind of fueling an effort in Ann Arbor to get Jim Harbaugh out, I think that is just a bunch of bull.
A bunch of hoo-ha.
Right. Now, could he be doing something with the infractions committee? I don't know, because I don't know how the infractions committee works. So I saw all these questions about Jim Stapleton. That's all I got to add on it. Like if he were a guy wielding influence that was averse to or adversely impacting Jim Harbaugh's status, it would have come to effect in 2020 when there were a lot of people. There was a receptiveness to that idea. And
man, who was on that train? What are you saying?
No. Oh, you didn't catch me on that train. Not at all. And nor did you catch Ward Manuel on that train either, because I seem to remember him not listening to any of that. So
yeah, they like to slander Ward. I don't know why.
I think it's because Ward don't come out and really defend himself. So it's like you can pretty much say what you want. He just like, man, I don't care what y'all talking about. But at some point, I think he should, care a little bit about the public opinion, I guess, in some ways, because perception is reality. Right, and you don't want all these fake perceptions out there to turn into your reality, in my opinion. So
yeah, I definitely would say that. I definitely would say that. Like, hey, wait, hold up.
Like, hold up, wait a minute.
Hey, man, I got all these people who are saying that I don't want Jim. Wait, I remember when y'all didn't want Jim.
Yeah, y'all the ones didn't want Jim.
Y'all the ones didn't.
Remember, y'all wanted me out because I didn't want to get rid of Jim.
Right. And I remember my neck being on the chopping block next to his. Say, okay,
we riding together. They got a double barrel.
You can keep him if you want to, but just know if it don't work, it's not going to just be him. Right.
Yeah.
So just let's not forget history.
Let us not forget.
Now, Ward is the guy that came to Michigan from New Orleans and basically never left except when he went to UConn, right? Like, but he's like like this guy still walks campus with two straps, like Sam, in a backpack. Like I've been on campus and seen Ward walking around campus get food with a backpack and two. This guy loves Michigan as much as anybody else. So it's
Sam,
weird.
That wasn't me, Sam. It was Dangle that attacked you this time. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, man. It wasn't me.
It was.
Ward is a good dude, man.
It was. So again, hey, look, I'm not saying that there's okay. So according to Ben, thank you for that, Ben. He said Bacon on 97.1. He said Stapleton got himself on the infractions committee as far as leaking goes. I guarantee that's where it comes from. Oh yeah, I can't speak to that. I don't know that.
Guarantee is a strong word.
Yeah, I don't know that to be the case. I do know that he has had his face. Like, he was a huge advocate for Brady Hope. That automatically has Devin like, I don't like him.
Red flag. Red flag. Red flag, man. So all I'm saying is it's a red flag. That's all I'm saying. Hey, man, get off me, man. Hey, man, this ain't about me, man. This ain't about me.
I knew when I said he's a Hope guy, Devin was going to be like, they tell me.
I heard you say it earlier, and I just was like, he can't be trusted.
Right. So, hey, man, I don't know what he's doing with the infractions. Let me stress that again. I can't speak to what he is or is not doing with the infractions committee. I do believe he did not want, this is my opinion, I do believe he didn't want Jim with the Vikings. How much influence or sway that had, I don't know. But as far as his influence at Michigan and where Jim, whether Jim is extended or not, if he had that kind of influence, then Jim would have been gone in 2020. If he had that kind of, if he or others had that kind of influence on that decision, in my opinion. So I see what everyone's saying. It's been all over why am I bringing it up? Because we got a million questions about it in the deal. And it sounds like it's as a result.
It's big news, man. Like, this is, even though we don't make this a Michigan Center show, every national show is talking about this same thing multiple times on their 2 hour, 3 hour, hour and a half shows. So I mean, we just got a little more inside info. You know, we can give you a little bit more. We can drop a few more dimes on you. Is what I'm saying.
But to the point, they should be actively looking to see who the NCAA. I mean, who's leaking all this, right? We know who's leaking the ESPN, or we have a good idea who's leaking the ESPN. My opinion is it's Ryan Day in Ohio State, right? Because that's what Ryan Day, he always got an excuse for getting beat. And it stands to reason that this would be in keeping with that. Daniel texted me. He said, man, Ohio State fans hate you. Saying, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about what no Ohio State fan thinks. What is an Ohio State fan going to do?
Sam, why they hate you so much, Sam?
For me or to me. They don't do nothing for me and ain't going to do nothing to me.
Why they hate you so much, Sam?
I don't give a damn about Ohio State. I don't give a damn about Ohio State, about their fans, about their coaches.
You know why I think they don't like you, Sam?
You
know why I don't think they like you, Sam? Because you always making fun of this man about his dyed, permed, and pressed chest hairs. That's why.
No,
you ain't gonna keep attacking their coach.
That's me giving you a symbol for how soft he is, right? I don't know if he really combed his chest hair. He just looked like the type of dude who would do that. You know, I'm just saying. That's all. You know, just based on the way he carries himself as a coach, complaining about, oh, my signs are getting stuck. You so brilliant. If you so brilliant, figure it out, right? Your brilliance, if someone is challenging it, be more brilliant, right?
You know what? I think I just changed my stance. The amount of time and diligence it takes to decode, because you got 3 signalers, decode which signal matches the play that's actually being run. The amount of time it would take to do all that, even if you off the iPhone, you know, whatever, if they really can, and if they really have, he need to go get him a real job somewhere and do something real hard, because that's crazy. Like, to be able to decode, remember, you got 3, sometimes 4 signalers with different shirts, whatever. Nobody knows except for you. Unless your team leaks who the guy is, nobody knows, right? So you're looking at this guy plus the boards to decode all that. That takes a special kind of brain. And so you think that Connor Stalions crazy? I think he's a genius.
Nah, man. If it comes out, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I believe Jim. I believe the coaches. I believe they didn't know that he was doing this. Now that won't absolve them. I think if they wind up being guilty and getting the violation, the mistake will have been you hired the dude. But I don't know how you would have caught that, right?
It's so hard to hire fans. You can't hire fans. That's the rule of thumb should be. You can't hire fans to your program.
That would be the only thing that you can say, because you said earlier he was so eager. He was doing some things on his own that would ordinarily be a sign of a go-getter. Mr. Young go-getters, right? You know, just a go-getter. So I could kind of see how you could be, you know, it could
entice.
Yeah, it could obscure some character traits that otherwise might be like, this dude seems a little.
And you gotta think about it. This is a military dude. He know how to come buttoned up, right? When you see this dude, you're like, man, this dude is straightforward, buttoned up. Military dude's a little different, and you know, for whatever it is, you know, they go through a strenuous training to protect our country, right? And so when you meet this dude, you meeting a buttoned up, know what to say, when to say it, how to say it. A dude that got some confidence and some bass in his voice type of thing. And who doesn't want that on their program is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So
I just know now reading that story. So somehow Sports Illustrated got a hold of some text messages he was sending to some college student.
It was probably on his laptop, right? So, you know, I think they got his laptop. And you know, you don't use Apple products, Sam, because you're still living in the dark ages. No. But you know, you got your
text messages assimilated to the collective is all. That's all.
you got your text messages on your laptop, so that's probably where they got it from. They just went way back, and they're like, "Dang, this dude was bragging about everything." My goodness.
And to some random college student, though, like, man, damn you.
And then didn't it say he had another conglomerate, some at Ohio State and everything? Yeah. They're about to just take over all these schools. He had a good plan. They should make a movie about this.
He sound like, you ever watch G.I. Joe? He sound like Cobra. We gonna take over the world.
Hey, I mean, I'm reading and I'm just like, dang, he got another conglomerate at Ohio State that's gonna take over Ohio State. This man, it sounds convincing.
Yeah, the one thing, the thing that you said that would have filtered him to your point, Daniel, is that you just don't hire fans. But again, and according to what Ben said, the texts are part of a lengthy back and forth of January, February 2021 between Stalions and a then student at a Power 5 school who was looking to break into the college football industry. Like,
He
man,
said, "I got the path for you, baby."
right? He's
got you.
like what kind of mastermind uses his own name, right? And then just text random people all the details of what you're doing, right? I mean,
details.
Like
details that you have said, because you got some sources. You said those are not true.
Yeah.
Some of those details.
Some of the things he said in those
page manifesto. That's crazy.
Some of the things he
Michigan
said
manifesto
are not true. Are not true.
He said he was right next to Gaddis, giving him all the answers.
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that on the Michigan Inside. Stop saying, man, I'm writing about that later. I'm writing about that later.
Hey, don't be taking our dimes and taking them other places.
That's a Droppin' Dimes exclusive.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I know a few of those things he said was like, man, ooh, you embellishing. You being a little whole.
At this point, you lying. You ain't even embellishing now.
You embellishing. You lying now, like, man. And that's how I get out. So I could see how that could be missed, right? That eagerness, a dude who's giving his own time, spending his own money, coming in and out of town every week when he was a volunteer. Hey, I could see how that could be.
Yeah.
That could mesmerize you. I think was the word you used. But ultimately, I believe that they didn't know if he, whatever he was doing, if it was above and beyond, sitting there and having every game for the past 4 years right at your disposal. If he was doing more than that, I believe that they didn't know, like Harbaugh said, and that won't absolve them of being punished if it's proven to be the case. And I stress proven because we still haven't seen any proof. We've seen a lot of circumstantial evidence, but no tangible substantive proof.
One last thing I want to try to just, he ain't my homeboy, nothing like that. He always been, what's up? All right, we cool, whatever. I don't want they making him out to be like a criminal a little bit. Like, come on, man. This ain't
no criminal.
That's what I'm saying. But like, as far as the way that people attack it, it's just like, break the law. In the grand scheme of things, and most football guys think he really didn't do nothing. But if you really just this dude that ain't never played sports, don't understand how it works, fine. You think he broke some rules, but this dude ain't no criminal, right? He just a dude that thought he had a loophole. Probably this is what it is. He thought he had a loophole. He's a fan. He can help his team. He think he can't have believed that he was gonna ever take over Michigan football. I know he ain't believe that. He was just bragging, flexing his muscles with a dude that whatever. But this is a dude that saw a loophole to get his way into the program he's dreamed of being around, and he used it. He exploited it, and right, wrong, or indifferent, he ain't a criminal for that. He's still a guy that served our country. You know what I mean? But it's just. At the worst, he's just a little weird at the worst.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you'll be surprised at how many guys come in as fans and start off as video coordinators, and you look up 10, 15 years from now, they're a head coach somewhere.
Are you making decisions? Wait, what?
It happens. In basketball, it happens all the time. A lot of them guys you see on the sideline, they start off as some guy that was sweeping the gym and catching rebounding basketballs for one of the best players, and now they head coaches. So you got to be careful with that stuff. He made it to the sideline.
Right. Connor, he's giving a credential. Connor is going. He was on team playing. Connor is going to be able to write a nice tell-all too. It's all said and done. What?
He's the team playing with y'all?
No. I said with them. He on the staff now. He on team playing with. Oh. He on team playing with me. It seemed like he was because he was always at the hotel first. He was there before us. Like, how you know what time we even get here? Who's telling you this? But anyway, I think that he gonna have a nice tell-all book, and I might read it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to filter through it though to figure out what's fact and what's fiction.
No, you don't sacrifice entertainment for the truth. Who does that? Truth. Who cares about what the truth is? Make this thing entertaining.
Yeah, I hear you. So we'll see. I think it's ridiculous. I think any discussion about vacating games, that's some ridiculous stuff. I understand the NCAA is
trying to flex their SpongeBob muscles.
Yeah, but that even for them, that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. When you're talking about a practice, an embellishment of a practice that everyone utilizes, right? Everyone captures signs, if what they say is true, he went above and beyond to capture a few more. But it's not like he was like some of the Tennessee. If Tennessee didn't get a ban, it was like, how the hell?
200 plus violation.
200. That's a wild number.
Like, come on, man. Come on, man. So, fellas, we need to pause here because Ben, I think you have a little drop that's ready.
Man, we just went a long time on that. It deserves all the rest of the shows are. I just looked. I said, wait, 50 minutes. Yeah. We just talked about what is it? Spygate? What is it called? Signgate. We talking about Signgate. I mean, it's the best team in college football, bar none, in my opinion. But I guess you could throw Georgia in there. Well, it's one of the two best teams, not two, in college football, and it's a big old controversy hovering around. Droppin' Dimes have got to talk about that at length.
All right, we also have got to talk about how much we love Ann Arbor. Ben, it is time for you to drop that track. So we all love Ann Arbor. The first few episodes of Droppin' Dimes, though, have featured places I love in Ann Arbor. This show is not all about me. This is about the dudes who dropped the dimes during their Michigan career and found some places in Ann Arbor that they love too. And so it's time for Devin and Daniel to talk about a spot that they love in Ann Arbor. It's actually a spot that I love too, but I want you guys to take it away. So tell me the spot, one of the spots you really love.
DG. You know, you ride down State Street coming from 94 and you see all the, the frat houses and all these different things, but then you get to a street and you can't go left because there's the Michigan Union, but you can go straight. Crosswalk, gonna be kids everywhere. You hit that right? Hit that right down South U. Take that thing down about, half mile-ish. And just to your right, as you look over, it used to be across the street from the sex store, which was super weird when I first got to campus, but they ain't there no more. I think it's Jim John's now, but I digress. It's true. I remember when I came out to that sex store.
Yeah.
But I digress. You look to the right across from where the sex store used to be, and you got a nice little awning with the jug on there. One of the oldest trophy in trophy game history, the little brown jug. Now, I used to go there every single day. Every single day. And before I started taking my nutrition seriously, I was eating chicken strips and fries because my weigh-ins, I was too light, and Wellman was all on me like, hey, man, you can't lift today because I'm trying to knock back shakes. I'm like, all right, man, I got to start eating bad to try to get some of this weight on me so he can stop making me come at 5 in the morning the next day because I can't lift because I ain't make weight. I mean, chicken strips and fries every single day. Barbecue and ranch on the side. And I for the first 3 years, I think I did. And then I start switching to salmon and different stuff like that, right? But now currently, you go on in brown jug at the top of the menu. It might be second. I don't know. Devin Gardner chicken strips and fries, dude. I'm just telling you. You got to go get you some chicken strips.
Wait. So how did the I Love Ann Arbor segment turn into another DG is great opportunity? DG is great platform. You got chicken strips named after you?
Yeah. I got some chicken strips at Brown Jug. So go ahead in there. Hey, tell Perry I sent you. Perry's my guy. There's the menu right there. I'm in there somewhere. So blow that thing up. Blow that up. Yep. I told you it's first or second. Is it first? Second. Third. I become third. Perry. Hold on now. It used to be first thing on the menu. I don't know what's going on with this menu. This menu might be broke. Ain't no way Denard would tell me. And Denard used to always get the chicken wings. And so that's why he got the chicken wings. So I say just forget the sampler basket. I mean, you can get them all because I know y'all got that bread. But I say go for those Devin Gardner chicken tenders. You can get waffle or you can get steak. I prefer the steak fries, but then you got to get barbecue and ranch. And then you got to double dip them things and go crazy.
Yeah, Perry Pericos is Ann Arbor. Don't you think that? I mean, that's just who does not love Perry? And that's part of the charm of the brown jug, in my opinion.
Was the brown jug a little different back in your day? Because
you know, we loved it or whatever. They used to have an athlete night on Sundays. I never really went to that. Yeah.
So, nah, Brown Jug is one of those places. This is a staple in Ann Arbor, man. Like, first of all, like you said, Perry's a staple in Ann Arbor. But the Brown Jug and then Blue Leprechaun, which used to be touchdowns now, which used to be touchdowns back in the day, right?
And that was kind of kitty corner to the sex store.
Yes. So I think the sex store is the Insomnia cookies now. I digress. But we would go to the Brown Jug, eat, like I said, eat, drink, especially Brown Jug is very versatile. We would go for breakfast sometimes. We would go for lunch sometimes. We would go before the football games, after the football games. And then Brown Jug will sneak up on you like those Thursday nights where you're out on the town in Ann Arbor and you're walking down Southview and you see a crowd of people like, where are they at Cantina or where are they at? But you look up and everybody's in the Brown Jug eating, especially Thursday nights or Saturday nights after the football game. Man, it's a great place to go. And like, it's versatile. You can go have breakfast, you go have drinks and dinner. It's just
Greek grape leaves. What you need? Yeah. What you want? You want steakums? Yeah. What you want? You want what you want? A milkshake? What you want? Now, Daniel, I never got a chance to experience that post-football game Brown Jug atmosphere. Obviously, because I play the game, and it's just too much of it's hard to travel and get to. You know what I mean? I lived off campus. Like, dude, I'm tired. So chance to go to Brown Jug after a win or whatever. So you got one up on me. I ain't never experienced that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's nothing like Ann Arbor after a big Michigan football win, and that's coming from a basketball player. Like when y'all would beat whoever, Wisconsin or some big team or Ohio State at home or somebody like that, or whatever the big Michigan State, whatever the game was that week. If it was a football win, Southview was the place to be.
That's where Daniel made his money. He say them football players tired, they ain't coming out. Let me go ahead and get it, Papa. Let me go ahead and plant my seeds before they get here. My seeds is coming up soon.
Because when they walk in, it's a man. How you've never seen a bunch of big people walk. Like, we're basketball players. There's only 5 or 6 of us. Yeah. When the football team walks in, you know it.
30 deep.
Well, definitely don't have a burger or a chicken tenders or a salad named after me, but I've sampled all at the Brown Jug, and they are all very good. I have but one issue with Perry Perico's, who is as Michigan as they come. But Perry, if you're a Michigan guy, don't you think you should have told John Beeline about Giannis Antetokounmpo? Don't you think the Greek freak? That's what I'm saying.
Perry, get your stuff together, man.
Now, Perry, you talked to him. Now, he said he knew about Giannis Antetokounmpo, but knowing about Giannis and telling Beeline to go recruit him, those 2 different things. Like, Perry, you're supposed to make that happen, man. All the things that Perry makes happen in Ann Arbor, and you couldn't get John Beeline on the Greek freak before he was the Greek freak.
You know, we're gonna have to me and Perry gonna have to talk. We gotta talk on that because I ain't know all that. I ain't even put that together. You gotta seal that deal, Perry. And you know, Perry done sealed some deals in his day. He got sealed out.
Listen. When when the coaches are looking to close a player, they give them a meal at the Brown Jug.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That they want the kids to have an experience and go home saying, this is Ann Arbor. They take them to the Brown Jug. So that's why I'm saying you are synonymous with the University of Michigan, Perry Perico's.
Yes.
And you didn't get the Greek freak here? I almost gotten over that. Almost. Not quite.
That menu, and one last thing, that menu is so vast. You can go in there and get bar food. You can go get you a nice Greek dinner with grape leaves and a Greek salad, all that. You can get you some breakfast. You can get you a steak. Like whatever, literally from top to bottom, whatever you want to eat, you can go ahead and go to Brown Jug and they're going to hook that thing up and it's going to be fire. It's going to be fire every time. They don't miss.
Yeah. They normally try to warn you about places with a large menu, right? To say they can do a lot of things, they do anything well, but that's not the case for Brown Jug.
Not at all.
Really good food.
Another spot. If you live in Ann Arbor, you know about it. But if you're visiting Ann Arbor, you definitely want to check out the Brown Jug. You will have a much better feel for what Ann Arbor is all about, and a great place in our beer and burger tour. because our first stop was Frazier's. You'll see that in next week's episode. We're definitely gonna be stopping by the Brown Jug for one of those beer and a burger episodes.
Yeah, it's right across from where the sex store used to be. Is right across from there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What happened to that store?
14 paces to be exact. To get to the handle of the door. 14 paces.
It's Ann Arbor, right? We love Ann Arbor, and we know you do too. We're gonna keep giving you the places for you to check out. Your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor, Destination Ann Arbor. Whether it's events that are coming to town, places to eat, places to stay, that is your tour guide. That is the place to go, Ben. If you can give us the QR code for the folks to scan so they can make it on over to the Destination Ann Arbor website, that would be greatly appreciated, my friend. And that will be the way, the link, if you will, that will take you to that tour guide's doorstep. That tour guide being Destination.
Hey, this whole QR code thing is really cold-blooded. Like, really, you can do anything and just put your phone up to it. That is dangerous technology. I think them people that should get an NCAA violation. How the heck you figure that out? Gardner Stalions might can figure out something like that because this dude's super smart, decoding all them signals.
Yeah, Steve said, "Are you guys gonna let people meet Devin at the Brown Jug?"
Pull up. And I know it's a lot of the Monday morning quarterback fans in. Yeah. No, you get priority meet and greet if you go ahead, hit that Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.
Hey, okay. So this is the end of the I Love Ann Arbor segment. Again, check out Destination Ann Arbor, your tour guide to all things Ann Arbor. Ben, drop the track. Now they say meet Devin at the sex shop.
First of all, I'm gonna be honest. I've never been in there, not one time.
I have.
Because I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want anybody to catch me in there. And I was super nervous back then. You tall, football quarterback, all that. And I'm just thinking, if I get caught in here, I'm not gonna be able to play. And I'm already on that bench. I can't risk it.
Only time
I'm grown, I can go in the sex store if I want to, but back then, you young mind, you don't know. I'm already late for workouts from time to time. I can't add this on top. I don't need to go in the sex store.
Hey, only people who went there were freshmen and people with like a bunch of piercings. That's the only people that ever going.
Connor was in that sex store. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just kidding, man.
All right. All right. So listen, before we get out of here, I'm wearing my NBA Players Association Top 100 shirt, thanks to my man, Tim McCormick. We're going to get, he's big with the Players Association, still does a Top 100 camp down in Orlando. So I always get some nice swag when we make it down there. We'll be
that boy's so tall, too. Tim McCormick. He made me look like a 4-year-old, so saying, I know you don't like being around him.
I stood on the platform, and he was still taller. Like, I was like, I don't know say more about me and him, but still, I was like, damn. That's my guy, though. Tim
McCormick's a good dude.
He called me up a few years ago, and he said, Sam, I want to do a show. I want to do a show with you. Let's just do a show. And we started doing a basketball show, man. So the Michigan Basketball Insider will be coming back. Look for that in the.
I don't know how I haven't been on there yet.
Are we gonna get you on there, Daniel?
you know, Sam be doing us wrong.
We wanna give you room to kind of flex your sports muscles. I feel like I be pigeonholing you, making you only talk about Michigan basketball, right? Yeah. But we're gonna get you on there too. But one of the reasons why we have you on this show is so we can talk NBA, right? Yes, so NBA opening night. I feel like I know who the teams are. Yeah. I do still think there's a major storyline that might help determine who one of the teams will be, and that is what's going to happen with James Harden. Daniel?
Well, you see, they told him to stay home just recently. They told him to stay home and not to come back. So it looks like they're going to try to move him. I don't know what that looks like, whether they try. They can't waive him. They have to get something for him. So I think once they trade him, you'll probably see. I'm predicting that Embiid will probably be traded before the deadline as well.
Really?
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to blow it up. You're gonna have to blow it up and restart in Philly. So it's a long
all downhill from there. I think for Embiid, then, huh?
For sure. And I know for me, I'm excited to see the Nuggets, try to repeat. Excited to see what Phoenix does with their, 3 heavyweights and limited amount of cap space beyond that. So it's an interesting NBA season. I know as a Laker fan, I'm not. It was like Groundhog's Day, right? It seems like the last couple of years the Lakers come out opening night and they're really competitive, but you can see the flaws in their team and why they won't win going forward, why they won't win a championship, I should say. So unless they make some more moves, but it's like this is probably this time of year and around Christmas time for basketball is like the most exciting time for me. So I'm excited it's getting started.
Hey Ben, I put in the chat a video because I had to go find it. I remember Kobe talking about James Harden obviously before Kobe died, and the point that he was making, like this is when the beard was like MVP, like he was like that, and
he told us, he foreshadowed all of it.
He's like, man, that dude will never win a championship. He's like, great player. His style will never win a championship. There's a reason. Every team he goes to, man, he puts up numbers, puts up stats when he's ball dominant. But you noticed last year in the playoffs when Embiid was out, like he went off, and it was like, that's the J. Okay, he's back, right? Soon as Embiid got back in the lineup, he couldn't function anymore.
Yeah.
Like if he's not a ball dominant guy, that he cannot win, that he cannot be successful. He cannot thrive. That's kind of the Kobe's point. And that's why I'm like, man, I don't know what his leverage really is. We've seen him be in several what were supposed to be championship situations. First Oklahoma City, with the Rockets, with the Nets, with the Sixers. All of these teams had championship ingredients around him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get it done. At some point, this kind of like Ryan Day. At some point, you always got to bring it back to Ryan Day.
And
if everything else changes and you still don't win, that sounds like a you problem. So here's Kobe. This was some great commentary from Kobe Bryant. Go ahead and let us hear it, Ben.
James Harden, crazy streak this season. What do you think of what he's doing right now?
I think I'm not a fan of in terms of winning championships. I don't think that style is ever going to win championships. But at the same time, you have to keep your team's head above water to win games. So you have to do what you have to do to win games. And he's doing that, right? Now, I think
so are you saying you don't think James Harden and the Rockets, as constructed, can win a title?
Not with this style of play, it won't win, right? With one player dominating the ball. Now, when you have Chris Paul come back and you have more movement to the offense, where you move guys around, where you're harder to find.
And Chris Paul's back, but you mean more in the...
Yeah, because listen, if you take one player, you put him at the top of the key, or you put him on the wing, and you're running screen rolls, you're always in front of the defense. The defense can key on that, particularly in the playoffs. And that's easy to defend. Yeah, it's easy to defend. Now, what he's doing is absolutely remarkable, though. And I think it's a testament to how remarkable it is, because people are now trying to minimize what it is that he's doing. I mean, he's doing some phenomenal stuff.
Hey, man, so take that off the screen there, man, real quick. Yeah, all right, so, man, he dropped some dimes right there. he dropped some big time.
Man, video just made me sad, because he would have been such a great coach, man. Like most times, great players can't be good coaches, and he would have been a great coach. And Daniel, I want to ask you this, right? Because Kobe, a lot of people look at him as a ball dominant player, and then you got Michael Jordan. Everybody looked at them as ball dominant players, but you bring in Phil Jackson and he do the triangle offense, right? So it doesn't allow you to be as ball dominant. Is it a point where you just say, hey, get a guy to hone in? I mean, he's older now, but maybe when he was in his prime, get a guy to hone in on this ball dominant player who's special, and make it work, right? Can we go as far as to say, man, the coaching staff need to do a better job to figure out how this can work, or take the ball out of his hands in a way like Kobe and Jordan, or is it just all James Harden?
Okay, so those are kind of two different styles of play, right? James Harden and Kobe. Like Kobe is a more of an end of the shot clock guy, where we're going to run our offense and we get it to him, in the last 10 seconds, and he's going to get us out of a jam. He's going to get us. He's going to get us a good shot. He's going to create something, right? Whereas a guy like James Harden or LeBron James or a number of other guys, they're going to have the ball pretty much the whole possession. So they're going to either shoot the ball or dictate who shoots the ball. So we call it in basketball, we call it throwing grenades, right? The shot like 5, 4, 3, 2, and now, I don't have them pass it to you now. Whether you're open or not, you're catching a grenade because you have to shoot it.
Gotta fly it, yeah.
So that style of play doesn't really lend itself to winning championships because, like Kobe said, once you get in the playoffs, when you get in where people have scouted and people are really focused on defense, you're going to have 5 players staring at you. And in basketball, if you got all eyes staring at you, it's going to be extremely hard to score. That's why it's impressive when he does do it. But as far as his conditioning, you're going to wear down. You're going to become less efficient, less effective as a group. Then not only that, the guys on your team are standing over there watching you for most of the time. So they're going to get out of rhythm, get cold. So it's a lot of different things that go into it. Why it's hard, it's extremely hard to win the championship with a ball dominant guy. That's why 2 of LeBron's championships have been with Miami, where they put him on the move most of the game. And he played without the ball, and he played on the move, and they were able to use his athletic ability and use all of his talents. Whereas when he's been in Cleveland and LA, it hasn't been quite as successful, wasn't quite as rapid or quite as frequent because it's hard to. First of all, it's hard to put guys around you that can play that way, and it's hard to maintain that great. That's why part of LeBron's greatness, right? He's been able to.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Is that a testament to how great he is that he can still make it work somehow?
Definitely. That's a testament to his greatness that he's won 2 championships playing that way. Yeah. It's nobody else is. I don't think anybody else has won 1 championship playing that way.
I think the answer to the question you kind of gave is look, 4 different teams. Like, okay, 4 different coaches were wrong. 4 different coaches were wrong. You played with KD twice. You played with Kyrie, which LeBron won with Kyrie. LeBron
won with Kyrie. One that will.
Right, I agree with you on that. But LeBron, he was able to make that work. He was able to make that dude better. Like LeBron can elevate the guys around him, right? And that's just not something that we've ever seen James Harden be able to do.
It's like he pouts when it's another alpha in the room. Like he pouts, like, oh, and be back. I ain't gonna hoop no more. All right, bro, here.
Right, and I'm like,
Devin, if you watch, when he doesn't have the ball, he's not really engaged in the play. Like he's going to go stand high on the wing. He's never going to go stand in the corner for one. He's not going to run that far. But he's going to stay high somewhere high on the floor and watch. And he's not going to, like, it's like, and they've highlighted this before. Like, one thing you have to, in order for your offense to be good, everybody has to be a threat. And when the guy that normally has the ball doesn't have the ball and he's standing over here catching his breath, he's not really a threat until he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So that makes the offense less effective. So it's a lot of things that goes into it, man. I wouldn't call him a cancer, but he's definitely not a guy that I would want leading my organization, especially you see the pictures of him. Like now he's just trying to get sent home. You see the picture, he looks like he's 270.
Yeah, man. He's his way out of organizations, man. And maybe you could work your way back in the form when you're younger, man. It's harder to lose that weight the older you get, right?
Oh, he's funny to me, man. He like, all right, y'all want to trade me? I get fat then. Cool.
Yep. But from his perspective, he feels lied to, though, Sam. Like he feels like the guy promised him money on the back end, right? So he's up for a new deal. He took less money when he first got there with Morey telling him, okay, we're going to take care of you on the back end. Yeah. And now they're not doing it. So he feels, he feels lied to.
Man, okay, well, win something.
That's probably their perspective. Like, why would we pay you? We haven't come close to winning anything.
You ain't hold up your end of the bargain.
Exactly.
Right. If I'm gonna cater to somebody, it should have been Joel Embiid. Like, I feel like James Harden got Doc Rivers fired. Like, why am I? And it feels like that wasn't what Embiid is like. So if you're Daryl Morey, why are you listening to what James Harden want to do? You should be listening to what Joel Embiid, and that's why it's going to. Because to me, if you're going to reset, you can reset with Joel Embiid. But now it sounds like that's not even going to be on the table. Like you said, they're going to blow it up, which is crazy because they tanked to get Joel Embiid.
Yeah. But once you move him, what's Embiid's incentive to stay there? You know, you see especially in today's NBA where the players have a lot of power now. They can be like, hey, I have 2-3 years left on my deal, but I don't care. I don't want to play here anymore.
Daniel, me and you are available is what I'm saying.
Hey, I'll tell you. Give me 2 weeks. I'll be ready.
Dude, hey, if Udonis Haslam can keep collecting checks, I don't see why we can't sit that bench.
So I want to see. I got the question. What's the over/under on Pistons? You know, I'm gonna go. The Pistons are gonna be at least a 500 basketball team. So I'm going with the over. I think the Pistons gonna win 41 games. Nah, 42. So they right over it. What you think I'm being? You think I'm being
a homer?
Too optimistic?
No, I like the Pistons. I like. I'm a big Cade Cunningham fan with him being a Dallas kid, right? You know, played high school ball in Dallas. Nice. So I'm a big Cade Cunningham fan. I think he's coming to keep developing and coming to his own and lead the Pistons to some good things.
Yeah, they said he was killing and against as they were practicing against USA basketball. I was listening to a couple guys. Cam Johnson did an interview, and they asked him. I can't remember. I think it was JJ Redick. It was JJ Redick. He was on JJ Redick's show, and he was like, "Who were you really impressed with this summer?" He was like, "Man, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren they were looking like they have really improved." Mm-hmm. And so now you get a Cade Cunningham back who is physically ready for the grind now. Got a chance to sit and watch for a year as well. Jalen Duren got that rookie stuff. I remember he was the youngest guy in the NBA last year. So that's an adjustment in and of itself. You know, you throw in some more wing help. You got to add a little more shooting. I think Marcus Sasser going to be one of the steals of the draft.
Another Dallas kid.
Yeah, and I just feel like, they fell up the stairs when Phoenix decided they were going to get rid of Monty Williams. I mean, that was another, what do you call him, goofy? That was another goofy move, right? And so we're going to benefit from the goofiness because you got
because like the whole reason for getting rid of Monty Williams was because of DeAndre Ayton. Now DeAndre Ayton in there, now you lost a good coach.
Yeah,
Frank Vogel, who's with the Lakers, who a lot of people don't think is a great coach. That's wild. This is a wild world we live in.
Don't fall for that, Devin. Frank Vogel is a very good coach.
We'll see. Hey, he'll get his opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll get his opportunity to show it.
Speaking of opportunities, so Devin looked at the night game, and this is your cue, Ben, to get my golden limo commercial up and running because I was not thrilled when I saw that Purdue was going to be a night game. My esteemed colleague over here was thrilled.
I was.
Devin was elated that it was a night game because Devin,
we might be able to get in that thing.
He might be the busy man that he is. Calling it sometimes 2 games in a weekend.
Yeah.
In his duties as an Emmy Award winner, his duties with Fox, right? I put my guy up there.
Big time.
He's gonna fly back to town like he did for the Bowling Green game.
Hold on, I don't know just yet, but that's the plan if I have an early game.
Okay, that's the plan. Yeah. That's the plan. So
and you know what I'm riding in. You know what I'm riding in. When I fly back for a night game at the Universidad de Michigan, you know what I'm riding in. I'm riding in gold limo, baby. I'm riding in gold limo.
You ride in style. You ride safely. It is absolutely excellent. Everything down to the minor details. Like you're always going to have a nice chilled bottle of water right there. You're going to have a driver who doesn't have to look at the phone to know where he's going. Will know the shortcuts. So you need on a game day, you need to know how to maneuver around.
If you want conversation, he got you. If you want silence, he got you.
There's no doubt. And then when you get to the airport, he'll be waiting for you. Help you get your bags right there. You don't even have to worry about that either.
He ain't gonna let you touch that door. Don't you touch that door. I got you.
It's a different level. And why wouldn't you want to ride like DG? Right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do it like DG. This you can do like DG.
You can.
You want to be like DG, ride and go to limo. Better yet, here's another one, Ben. So see if you can find this. Over on the Michigan football Twitter page, they tweeted last Friday, I want to say.
Oh yeah, they was riding around and getting it. They tweeted a nice video.
Yeah, they tweeted a nice video going to Michigan State.
And in this video of One Strap Sam, this is a good video too. Well, really two strap because of the seatbelt. The seatbelt got stuck, so you got one strap on, and then the seatbelt got stuck.
I
So
need
you
another
really,
commercial.
so you meant to be one strap Sam, but somehow you became two strap Sam and stayed true to who you is, you know. But the video, this video's great. But the video they put together on there.
Daniel, when you come to town, we gonna make sure you ride on gold, and we gonna get a commercial. You ride on gold as well. I don't know. We gonna get a commercial with Devin. Man, keep talking about me with my strap.
Look at that strap. Look at that strap.
I gotta get another commercial. All right, but so the team was going to Michigan State on a business trip. Ben, if you found that video, shake your head.
Like business, it seemed like they were going to Cedar Point. They just had all fun there. There wasn't no business going on in East Lansing last week.
Yeah, it was. But what I took away from the video, definitely all the seriousness that they showed, right? Is they were like, you could tell they were about that business.
Dude, they had a line full of golden limo.
And here's the thing to remember. I mean, it wasn't just the tunnel from last year that was on their minds. Man, I was told that this whole sign gate, where people are like, basically that's why they won. I was told players feel a certain kind of way about that. Because basically it's saying
you're minimizing all the work I didn't put in over the years.
That. Rewind that. Here we go. So this is the Michigan football team riding on gold.
How do you call yourself the Spartan Dogs and contemplate not playing the game?
There's Golden Limo. Taking the team up to East Lansing on that business trip.
Hey, when you see that all black pull up, you see that Golden Limo all black pull up.
Hey, man. No.
Sam, do you wear two seatbelts so that you can stay true to two straps?
Folks, go to limo.com if you want to ride like DG. If you want to ride like Daniel's going to, you want to ride like me, whether it's airport transport, right? You need the buses that take you to the Big Ten championship game. Maybe we do a Big Ten championship bus.
Sam not getting in the car unless it got a race car seatbelt.
I know there's something. I know there's some folks who are taking a gold limo bus to Penn State. Or if you just want to ride around town on the party bus, Golden Limo got you covered for all of your transportation needs, both here and internationally as well. Ben, don't encourage this man. Don't encourage this. We got to get out of here, folks, for another edition. I hope you have a lot of fun. We always do as well. On Steady Dropping Dimes. We'll see you next week.